For that, how widespread is the use of marking benchmarks that result in underpayments at Melbourne University?
We're seeing it commonly across the universities, and I'm not saying by any means that this is deliberate. I think in some cases there's conversations we've had with some of the universities have been that it seems a logical thing to set a price for an essay, for example, rather than manage how long people are spending marking. I'll give you an example. So rather than using it as a performance management opportunity, it's much easier to say I'll pay you this much to mark a level 1 essay, for example. There's some logic in it, I guess, but the fact of the matter is that if they want to do that, they need to go to the Fair Work Commission and get agreement that that's how they'll pay people. And that requires them to negotiate with unions to say that's the best way to do this in this sector, and they haven't done that. They've done agreements that say you'll pay on the basis of hours worked, and it's not how they've been paying. But I'm not saying it's deliberate. It seems to be some people have thought that's a logical thing to do, and they've done it. And there's, as Ms Volsky said, they haven't centralised, they haven't had assurance. Their councils and boards haven't been asking questions about it. They haven't sought assurance that things are being done properly. I doubt whether many of their councils have been saying, how are we going with our enterprise agreement? Are we complying with it? So I'm hoping that we're really bringing that to their attention, and I expect that nearly all of them are asking those questions now, and where they're finding issues are trying to address it. But it's very slow and it's pretty frustrating, and it's taking up a lot of our time.
What action will the Fair Work Ombudsman be taking in the coming year as part of the university sector being one of its top priorities? What's the approach to the university sector as being one of the top priorities into the immediate future?
You're asking if it is a priority?
What actions would is the Fair Work Ombudsman planning on taking in that?
So we have we've been working within the agency to take a strategic approach to this issue. So as you will have seen, that includes encouraging. So I've been working with the peak bodies within the university sector and talking to them about the need to come forward to audit their payroll, talk to their staff, talk to unions, etc. And then if they find issues, come and talk to us. And I have set out our compliance and enforcement policy, which takes a proportionate approach. So in other words, if you come to us and you are completely open, you talk to us and you tell us how you're going to fix it and work it all out, then you are more likely to end up with a lower level. You may end up with a letter of caution. You may end up with no underpayments. You may find none. In our policy, we then talk about if people have extensive issues that go back many years, if they're not willing necessarily to cooperate, then we can use higher level enforcement outcomes, and that's what we have been doing. So a couple of the universities have offered us enforceable undertakings, cooperated well. There's not a lot of public value in us taking them to court because they're doing the right thing. We get to get audit reports from them for the next 3 years. They have to fix their payroll, show us they've done so. They have to apologise to their staff. They have to get their payroll systems fixed and addressed into the future. So there's a lot of different ways we approach it, but I've set that out quite clearly to them, into the peak bodies, and have had a positive response. As I said, it's still frustrating because it's taking longer than it should. Where some universities have had what we consider to be serious issues, where we want to send a strong deterrence message to the sector, and not just the universities, we will take them to court, and we have done so. And hence Melbourne University is in court on 2 different matters.
So there is some degree of competition, obviously, between the universities and some courses in prestige. It would seem that if universities are able to cut corners and offer, potentially offer a more competitive rate on courses, that could be a deciding factor for people entering into a course at a particular university. So, this sort of what certainly appears to be wage theft, that that could also give an advantage from one university to another, couldn't it?
I think one of the things that's happening at the moment that you may be aware of is the Australian Universities Accord that's looking at the university sector as a whole. We've spoken with the representatives on the Accord, and we have discussed this issue as one of the things we believe should be in that Accord. There should be a requirement that they are obviously paying their staff properly, and that there is there's no breaching of enterprise agreements, and that they are, setting an example, if you like. As you've said, they're, higher level organisations should be highly educated, etc. The Accord representatives were, very positive about that. We're very concerned about the issue. So there's ways of bringing this to attention. We've also been working with TEXA, who qualify the universities. We've been using other methods. I've met with the Department of Education to talk through the issues. We have been trying to raise this across a whole range of areas to bring attention to it and to just address it and move on. And we're confident that universities are trying to address the issues. It's just taking a long time.
I'm very mindful that casual labour in most industries, including in the university sector, they're usually low unionisation, and I'm very mindful in this sector, as in others, that when that occurs, there's more opportunity for exploitation or more disadvantage on trying to get matters dealt with. I just want to sort of say for the Fair Work Ombudsman, consistently pursuing this matter has been a positive thing, but it also says quite personally how outraged I am to find, this university, because I've been coming here now for 3.5 years as a senator. We've been going to these hearings, and you've been giving, regular answers to the questions that various senators have asked about the performance of Fair Work Ombudsman and the university sector. So there has been a informative, engaged approach by the Fair Work Ombudsman, which I congratulate you for. But to find this reckless approach from this, and I know aware of other universities, to their staff is something that's still an imbalance in the whole system. The prosecution helps, but the imbalance still stays. But again, thank you for your hard work and for the rest of your team.
Thank you.
Over to the Coalition.
And I will also echo Senator Sheldon's comments. Thank you for your hard work and everything that you do.
Thank you.